Thanks for listening as always. And this episode is brought to you by mybookie.ag. They are killing it for the NFL season this year. MyBookie is giving away hundreds of thousands of dollars in their Super Survivor Series contests every week. Check them out, mybookie.com. Use promo code Santino. And you've used MyBookie years and years. Lots of bets.
Lots of bets. And actually this Thursday, no sweat bet. If you win big. If you lose, don't worry about it. MyBookie's got you covered.
You guys go to mybookie.com, use promo code Santino, get your NFL bets on, get your MMA bets on, get all of your bets on. Go to mybookie.com.
Welcome back to another episode of MMA Breakdowns and Bets. Hey. I'm your host.
Hey, I'm your host here, Santino DeFranco.
We need more DJ voices. We need more formal intros.
We need more formal everything. Formal education, formal training.
Formal attire.
Formal attire.
You got a collar on your shirt.
I know.
That looks very soft.
It is. It's like a towel. It's like a terry cloth, do they call it?
Terry cloth?
I don't know. I think so. I think it's like
what a towel is. Your outfits are getting more ridiculous as you age.
Yeah.
That's not true. You know what? So I was going through my closet the other day. Remember back when I used to be like super poor and used to give me really good Christmas gifts. You haven't got me a Christmas gift in a long time.
Didn't I get you like a year ago that tea kettle?
That was 2 years ago. But it was very nice.
That was a good one, right?
I still have it. Yeah, because I was going through my tea phase. I need to get back to that. That's when I was the most balanced.
I like tea, I've realized. And I never drink it, but when I do, so I'm with it.
It's great. Yeah, and that one's really nice. It's not practical so much, but it's very nice.
I know.
Loose leaf tea is very hard to pack it in. But you used to give me well, they weren't necessarily gifts. You were like Oprah. You would re-gift me a lot.
Okay.
So you give me a lot of shirts.
Not for Christmas, though. Those would just be random.
No, you gave me a lot of Christmas gifts that were like Ted Baker shirts that were a little too small for you, that you had put in the dryer one too many times.
No, I wouldn't have done that for Christmas. I would have done that.
I would have just given. Yeah. Okay. But you did give me a couple of new Ted Baker shirts.
That makes sense.
So, right. My girl, she's Asian. She's all into the streetwear, you know, like typical Asian. What's it called? The ABG or something? Asian baby girl. You heard of that? So that's whatever. But
so she drives a Honda with one of those like muffler things.
She actually does drive a Honda, which is hilarious. And then she got a Uzi.
Of course she did.
She's part of the Yakuza. But so I'm going through my closet the other day on FaceTime, and I'm like, hey, these are some shirts that Santino got me. And so I pull out this one. It's like a baby blue shirt with seagulls all over it. And she goes, if you ever wear that, I'm leaving you instantly. So I was like, all right. That one, okay. Out. Next one. So I pull out this next one. It's a pink shirt with like palm trees all over it. She goes, it's just like repeated print. She's like, no, if you wear that, I'm leaving you. I'm like, all right, give me one more shot. So then I pull out this dark blue one with seagulls all over. I'm sorry, what's the flamingos all over it? And she's like, no. She's like, why did he give you the worst shirts ever?
They're good shirts. Ted Baker at the time, man.
Just it's funny how the styles changed so much over the years.
How they change. But I changed with the styles.
You have. You used to be your worst style, I think, was the jumpsuit era.
Oh no, the tracksuits.
No, dude, that was peak Santino, bro.
Man,
that was
I've got
my favorite era of your guys' fashion was the headbands.
Yeah. Oh, I like the headbands.
The handkerchiefs.
Every once in a while. Yeah. Every once in a blue moon, I'll bring it back.
That was a cool look. I thought you guys were gonna stick to that for like ever.
We got to change with the fashion. Change with the times.
No, but no one else does that.
I know.
The problem was we were rocking the headbands. Everybody else started rocking the headbands. Yeah. Then it's not cool anymore.
I always I'm generally one step in front of fashion. So I will start doing stuff like right as I see that I'm like, oh, this is going to be a trend. So people look at me for a little while. They're like, oh, this guy's an asshole until everyone else is wearing it. And then I'm like, then I don't want to wear stuff because then everyone else is wearing it. This is just an awesome shirt. This is not fashionable. This is just fun.
Some of those shirts are fun.
Some of them are just fun. Yeah. Like
I have gone through many phases of my fashion. I used to dress in those shirts. I thought those were really nice shirts. Now I want to look as subtle as possible. My girl asked me, why do you always tuck your chains? And I'm like, I don't want attention anymore. Yeah. I like to wear watches that are very low key. And I like to dress down, even though I know these are really nice, high quality shirts and shoes. Look at me. I'm like an asshole today. I got, Nikes with no socks and like shitty jeans. You know what I mean?
What I like right now is the 90s are coming back. So everything is big and oversized.
I like that look.
So like these jeans are bigger than most of the jeans. This shirt's just whatever, just a funny shirt. But the boxy shirts are coming back. I'm with that. I don't want tight shirts. I'm sick of the tight jeans. I'm sick of the tight shirts. man, let's
the little oversized shirts.
Yeah.
I like the little trendy sayings. The Scotch and Soda, they have such cool shirts because it's like ride the wave. And it's like, that's so cool. Read a book.
Wait till it gets colder. Nothing but like flannels over t-shirts and go. Oh man,
I'm gonna go through a Post Malone.
I love
era.
it. Yeah.
I love Post Malone's ascent too. How he started with like White Iverson and cornrows, and he was wanting to be a gangster. Now he's full country.
Like country. I love it. He's just doing what he wants.
I love he wears those little booty shorts like the Daisy Dukes. It's hilarious. You seen him wear that?
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
You're like, what are you doing? Like he's like, I'll get away with it.
I'm a fan.
Yeah,
I love that
he's
guy.
like, I'm gonna
Wear
do it.
Crocs.
Man, we're going to the Sphere this week.
I cannot wait. We were just talking. I am going to. So I'm going on Friday morning. I'm going to go.
Okay.
And I'm going to see a Mentalist show first. Now I'm going to have to thread the needle on this because, women, they got to get ready in between all the stuff. Men, I've realized how easy it is to get ready. I let her get ready for an hour and a half. I pop up with 5 minutes to go. And I'm like, all right, set the timer.
Yeah.
Shirt, pants, shoes, let's go. Yep. It's awesome. And I look better than her. I hate to say, I look better than her. You know what I mean? So we're going to thread the needle. We're going to go check into the hotel at 3:00. We have the Mentalist.
Where are you staying?
I booked Vidara.
Okay.
I had a lot of options. They were all very expensive, all $400 a piece per night. And I ended up choosing Vidara because they're all the same price. And it's the easiest access. It's connected to Aria. No smoking and no casino.
Oh, nice.
So it's clean and we can walk to the shitty ones,
Like it.
So the magic show or the Mentalist show at 4:00. We were talking about it. Can't wait. Some of the most unbelievable stuff I've ever seen. Mentalism.
It'll be your first time being there, right? First time going to the show?
My first time. What's funny? She don't watch the show. I could speak freely, crack wise, because she don't watch the show. You know what I mean?
No.
I can say whatever I want. Freedom. And then we have, I think it's going to last an hour or two. 8 p.m. Andrew Schultz, front row.
Nice.
Yeah, so I took her to a comedy show one time, and one thing I'm noticing. So she's the first like actually ethnic looking girl I've ever dated. Even the Brazilian look pretty much white.
White, yeah.
The other ones pretend they were ethnic. They're not. They're all white. So I noticed like going to Utah, there's a lot of races in Utah.
Really?
So
Are they?
Yeah, I pop. Yeah, because it was like rural Utah. I pop out with her. They look at me like, "Hey, fella," and then they see her and they're like, "Ooh." Who invited
Which
her to
one
the
of
party?
you don't belong here?
And so I took her to a comedy show one time. And there's only 10 people in the crowd. And the guy, he's an Indian guy. He's scanning the audience. And he's like, there's a lot of interracial couples here tonight. There wasn't. There was just me and her. And so I got Andrew Schultz front row because what I'm hoping is that he sees us.
And we'll start roasting and going, yeah.
Ooh, what's this connection
I
here?
love it. He's got to be the best right now. He's the top of his game.
By far the best.
We've got AQ on the Sphere fighting Chihuahuas.
Chihuahuas, don't disrespect it.
And like I think they have him like on the fight card right here on Tapology. They have him listed as the first fight. I think he's actually the main of the prelims, is what I think.
You keep saying that, and he keeps being listed as the first fight.
Why would they have Raul Rosas as the very first fight on the
Start
Sphere?
the night right, baby.
With 4 people in the audience?
No, there's not gonna be. Well, actually, there might be 4 people in the audience.
Yeah, I don't know.
So, you and your girl will be 2 of them.
Yeah,
but you start. You pay $3,000 for these tickets. You are a real asshole if you show up for the main card only, or you're so rich it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think people are just like, whatever. They're not gonna go.
The UFC does have them listed as fight 1 right now.
They really?
You're pretending like you're gonna be there all night. You're in and you're out at 4 p.m. 4 p.m. is still gonna be hot in Vegas. You're gonna be sweating your balls off, wishing you could get into the Sphere.
I know, and I won't be able to.
I'm gonna be finger banging in the seats. I'm getting my money's worth. You know what they said? That's actually kind of cool. So I was reading about it. They said that between every fight, because there's not many fights, 10 fights. That's why we're killing time, people. That there's gonna be a story.
Yes.
A heritage to the Mexican people on the Sphere for every fight. And that as things happen in the cage, like every punch and kick that lands, your seat is going to vibrate.
Really?
It like reacts to what's
going on. They
going
hired the same director that directed the movie Coco.
James Cameron.
Yeah. Is it Cam? No, it's not Cameron.
Kidding.
I was like, wait, what? He's like a Mexican
But I said it
director.
convincing enough.
Yeah, enough. And I was like, whoa, wait a minute. No.
James Cameron.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. Zombie's coming in town. We're going to hang out with him. I might end up going to Contender. We'll see.
Can I have dinner with y'all?
No,
okay.
I'm not going to do that. So we got to keep our people separate.
don't mix Asians.
You want to talk fights?
Not yet. I have a couple more things to say.
All right, what are we talking?
No, AQ's fighting this week, and I've got a lot of time in with AQ for this camp, just helping him. I was little Raul Rosas, you know what I mean? I would wear the Mexico rash guard every chance I got.
Appreciate that.
I just laugh because his nickname is the Mongolian Murderer, and they come. Wait, is that him?
Yeah.
And then the other one's Mongolian Knight. They come from just such a hard place. They're just hard people. Don't give a shit. Last night, like my face is just bad, breaking out from so many years of grinding my face. So I'm like scrubbing the shit, doing the face care. I put on a little mask, and I told my girl yesterday, I was like, I should send AQ a picture and ask what he thinks about this. Just this fucking Mongolian murderer. What he thinks about his skincare routine, painting my nails, shit like that. You know, I just think that shit's funny.
He'll just shake his head. Go, handsome. It's very handsome.
I kill, but handsome.
Man, well, let's get into this fight card. Before we do, you guys, go to the Patreon. Subscribe. Check it out. $25 a month. Like, come on, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's good. This weekend, honestly, this UFC card seems very hard to me. I'm not a huge fan from a betting perspective of this UFC card. However, there is Bare Knuckle Florida, which is always a great one. And last week's Bare Knuckle was insane.
How many underdogs?
I think 9 out of 11 underdogs hit.
Wow.
There was like somewhat like 8 in a row. And so we got the first few of the night. We got 3 out of 4 underdogs, and then we got 1 out of 4 of the favorites, but one of them was a pick'em. So if you hit all those, you hit like 1 pick'em, 3 underdogs.
I was actually at a fight with our guy Bryce Logan, had a boxing fight, and I was there with a buddy of mine who's on the Discord, and he was like, "Oh, let me check my BKFC bets," and I was like, "What?" And he was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Brandon, through the bets." And anyway, he parlayed 2 of your dogs, and I think it was like a plus 800 or something like that, and he hit. And he was going to parlay all 3, but one of them was like, I forget what he said. The odds were, it was like really a huge underdog. And it would have been plus 2,500, and it would have hit because all 3 of them made it. He's like, damn it, I should have done all 3 of them. He's like, but I did too. He's like, I ended up getting plus like 800. I forget what the exact odds were.
You know what? I just made the tragic mistake. Like, I saw this guy. He was a Marine. We got to stop factoring in Marines. Oh, like they are tough. They're hard people. But when it comes,
they're also retarded.
They're also retarded. This guy
in the best possible way. You want people to not question things or have the cognitive ability to question things when you're sending them to go die.
You want Bubba Gump.
Yeah.
Yeah. He had like a spinal fusion, and he was fighting this dude that like straight up off the couch, giant beer belly. And I bet on the guy with the spinal fusion instead of the guy that trains at ATT. Sometimes some of these bare knuckle fighters, hilarious. They're in the room with like world champions, and they're just like beer gut, like face tattoos, like criminal records, and they're like training with like Dustin Poirier. It's like insane.
It's the best training you can get.
I love this sport. Bare knuckle fucks.
You guys go sign up on the Discord, on the Patreon, $25 a month. Do it. And
let's go. I'm a little coffee high.
I know. I see that. You're out of your fucking mind.
What? Like, I actually feel like I need some food.
No, don't let the food settle you down. Just ride.
What happened to like getting sandwiches for the crew? We used to have like a caterer and stuff here.
I blame our producer.
It's always your beard looks very nice today, by the way.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, contrast with the M&M head. You're good.
We were talking about your feet a little earlier.
Yeah, they're great.
No, because I had mentioned I'm going to go on the show with no socks, and then your feet came up in conversation, and I know people ask you for the pictures,
for the feet pics all the time,
but they would be really disappointed when they see they're just black.
It started off as a joke. I think what happened was I was actually cornering Luis Saldana, and this was during COVID, so we had the quarantine. We had to go to the hotels and stay in the rooms. Like we couldn't leave the rooms for like 24 hours, and I was sitting there. I was bored out of my mind. And I don't know, I posted a picture like in the hotel room or something, and my feet were in the picture. And then people just started hitting me up for feet pics. And ever since then, now anytime my feet, it's a running joke, and it's been like that for years.
And somehow people you got a new Tesla.
Only somehow he's
weird. He's got
financially stable than he's ever been.
Yeah, he's got new shoes all the time.
Yeah, he doesn't have a job. He just
weird.
Yeah, no, I mean,
what's the link?
Man.
Tell us the link.
It's pure coincidence.
Yeah.
Dude.
What else is $25 a month?
Yeah, tell us the OnlyFans link.
Yeah, I ain't selling for that cheap, brother.
This dude's on Feet Finder.
Man, well, let's get into the first actual fight that's not AQ. Edgar Chairez.
Okay,
let's do it.
All right, Edgar Chairez is plus 175, and he's taking on Josh Van at minus 205.
So, man, Josh Van just got knocked out 2 months ago. I just looked. It was like 2 months ago. And it was a good knockout. I actually don't think the uppercut is what did the real damage. He took a spinning elbow right before that, almost to like the neck, back of the jaw, the neck. And it actually didn't look like it like wobbled him. But then right after that is when like a right hand and then the uppercut. But it kind of stopped him for a little bit. And I think he poker faced it well. But I think that elbow is what actually set everything off. I feel confident speaking for you on this, that we love Joshua Van.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's just awesome, but great boxing, great everything, good pocket work. I wouldn't say great offensive wrestling and great offensive jiu-jitsu, but great defensive wrestling and defensive jiu-jitsu. And he does all the right stuff. He's aggressive. He's in your face.
He works the offense in once he peppers you with a lot of volume.
Yes.
It makes it easy.
He just gets stronger as the fight goes on. Great cardio. And then Chairez, I think Chairez is actually a lot better than the odds. I wouldn't say the odds say, but I think he's actually decent. He's
big too.
He's massive, and anything could take him down. Like I took him down 3 times since we started talking from here, but he has good jiu-jitsu, throws guillotines, arm bars, triangles from his back. It's decent. It's not bad.
I made a face just because, it's okay, but his decision-making is not very good.
Yeah, his decision-making is not great, pulling guard in a guillotine. However, his guillotine is decent. He gets people moving, and he does a lot of the right stuff. Standing, he is hittable. His best punch is his left hook. He doesn't really use his range great, but he does. I mean, he sticks his jab, and more than anything is he doesn't get tired, and he's tough as shit. That said, I think Van had such a hard time with Charles Johnson in his last fight. We were talking about this. Camuela and I were doing mitts earlier. I said, keep jabbing, keep jabbing, keep jabbing. Because I said, the more you jab and keep something in my face, the less I am able to get comfortable and throw back. And that's Johnson. Like Van was there and Johnson would throw something. And then Van's like, okay, I'm going to, boom, he throws something else. All right, it's my turn. He'd feint, and then he'd kick, and then he just kept him on his toes. And Van eventually started finding a rhythm and got in there and did it. But man, it's just he was throwing so much at him. Whereas Chairez doesn't do that. Chairez will wait, and he waits for those big punches. And I think Van's going to be able to get in the pocket and really find his rhythm and throw. So I like Van here. I didn't know if I was going to. I mean, I kind of assumed that was the A side, and that was the big fight here, but do you really like Van after getting knocked out? And you got to look at it. But I do like Van, and I think he's going to win, but I think the over might hit as well.
I'm with you. So I didn't get to watch all the fights last weekend. I heard we got a 2-handed tap again.
By Schnell?
Yeah.
Was it 2-handed? I don't know.
Yeah, that's what everybody's making the big deal of. And I hope that stemmed from me making the big deal about the 2-handed tap. I think everyone else might have saw them and like, whatever. But then I made such a big deal about it. I think I was the epicenter. So I already got the 2-handed tap. But the reason I bring it up is because Durden also got knocked out viciously recently.
Yep.
And he, from all accounts, looked just fine. Right?
Yeah. The first couple minutes of that fight, he got tagged up and beat up. Maybe that was just taking the fight on short notice. Who knows? Schnell's a good striker though too, so maybe it was striker, that. Yeah. And then Durden started just pressing and swinging and finding his mark.
Van does get hurt a lot. It's weird. Chairez, I like his striking. He's such a weird fighter to me because sometimes he looks so good and then sometimes he doesn't do anything at all, and he's just kind of like there. Yeah,
but he won't fuck off either. Like he just doesn't die.
But he doesn't press.
Yeah. Well, no, but I mean, he's not a guy who's gonna like cardio gas and then he quits. Like he's not gonna quit on you. Like he'll stay there and fight you.
He's Mexican.
Yeah.
I like Van here. I mean, it's hard not to like Van. I understand he just got knocked out 3 months ago or 2 months ago, whatever it was, but he's still a really, really good fighter. His pressure, his pace, his volume, the dude's just got confidence and swagger. I mean, maybe his confidence is shot. I don't know. I don't know how he's going to come out, but just skill for skill. I do like Van here. I hate to play him at chalk on short notice, but yeah.
The thing with Van is we see people a lot of times, like Chairez loves his jab and he kind of will drop it a little bit. And Van, we saw it with Charles Johnson. He follows back with that overhand right. And that's a very common thing in MMA is people jab and you follow with the overhand right. But he follows it up. He doesn't one punch. He throws the overhand, then he rips the body. He comes back over the top. And he's always punching in volume. So I like his volume. Honestly, I do like the over. I do think it's going to go a little while, but I wouldn't be surprised if he actually, with his body shots, really hurt Chairez. And it wouldn't surprise me if he did find a TKO in the third round.
You have to imagine that Chairez's body is going to be a little weak too, just from the amount of weight that he cuts.
Yes.
And it's going to have a big impact on him too.
Yep. So I like Van here.
Sweet. All right, next we have Yazmin Jauregui at -455 versus Ketlen Souza at +355.
I actually watched tape on this, but I'll let you go. I went first on the last one.
Okay, this is just. It seemed this is a much closer fight to me than the odds indicate. I think that Jauregui.
Yep, Yazmin
Jauregui, I believe.
I think you're saying it wrong.
Dude, I had a friend in high school, bro. His name was Jauregui. His name was spelled just like this.
I think she's really good. I think she really is the truth. She does everything well. She's so fast, unlimited cardio. Her boxing is excellent. Just from the actual style matchup, I think this is going to be a really close fight. In my mind, I was like, man, Ketlen is really, really small. And I think she was small for the higher weight class, but moving back down, she's normal size. They're listed at the same height. We'll see when it comes. I think Yazmin wins, but I think this is like a really close fight. And, Souza's a good grappler. She's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. She's shown a pretty relentless pace. She did 5 rounds in Denver at altitude, which is pretty impressive, and a high pace in that fight too. So cardio is going to be in check for her. She has big bombs on the feet. Yazmin's got great volume, really tight punching, and she's fast as hell. But -455 or whatever the line is now, to me, is just a lot. Going into this before looking at the odds and stuff, I was like, oh man, this is going to be a great play. The odds will be somewhat close and she'll eke it out. But, I think she wins, but I think it's a very close fight.
I am not 100% against that. So you have Ketlen, is it Ketlen? Yeah.
I mean, they are bringing her in to lose, but
the thing though, she does throw that big overhand, but she's not finishing anyone. Marnik Mann was a heavy bag for her. And not only did she not finish her, she even got thrown a couple of times and head tossed.
That last round was a tough one for her.
Yeah. And if you put her on her back, she's just kind of a turtle there.
My only thing is that Yazmin's not going to wrestle her.
No, she's not going to at all. But she's so low volume that it doesn't matter. Yazmin, I don't like her boxing. I actually think it's not. I think she boxes like a Muay Thai fighter. Her
very square.
Yes, very square. She punches very square. She's not tight and goes, but she does throw a lot of volume. She's in your face. And the thing that she does that is it Ketlen, I don't even know who the fuck these people are. Ketlen doesn't do is she tries to win. She's there. She's going first. She's doing it. And you said it's volume, but also she's throwing elbows off the break, knees off the break. She has unlimited gas tank, and she just has the will to win in that fight and that go, and volume, and then meanness. And then with women, especially where you don't have a lot of finishing power and you start adding elbows and knees in there, that can cut you, that can make it look bad, and that potentially can finish something. I think these are two very well-matched fighters. But again, watching Ketlen Souza just decision a fucking paper bag, I've got to assume that the crowd, the Mexico chants, the volume of Yazmin are going to get it done.
Yep, I agree.
All right. Next, we have Manuel Torres -125 versus Ignacio Bahamondes +105.
Honestly, I don't I think these odds
Coin flip.
I think these odds are wrong.
Backwards.
I think Ignacio, again, I say it all the time, but for you new listeners, I do not look at odds until I decide who I think is going to win. I don't want that to ever sway me. And then what I like is, even before we weren't allowed to bet, and it was all right, this is what I would do is what I thought was a good pick or a bad pick. So I would go take these two. So Manuel, Torres, Ignacio. I would go, all right, I think Manuel wins this. And if it's I think Manuel squeaks this out, whatever. And then, but the odds are, if the odds are close to that, it's okay, great. If it's the odds are swayed one way or the other way. It's like, oh, whoa, this is basically a pick 'em fight, but somebody is plus 400. Or if it's like, hey, I think Manuel is going to murder this person and he's an underdog or something. It's like, whoa, that's, you kind of, I never want to be swayed by the odds. I like to see who I think is going to win. And then do the odds reflect that? And if not, by how far and all of that stuff. I was expecting, after I looked at this, I was like, oh, I think Ignacio wins this. I think this is clearly his fight. And then he's an underdog, but like plus 120. What was he? Plus what?
He is plus 105.
Okay, so plus 105. Earlier, I was looking at it yesterday, I think it was, and he was plus 115 or plus 120. I think he's come down a little bit. I am shocked because, I mean, Manuel Torres is fine. He's very decent. He's beating shorter fighters. I mean, with the Mota fight. I mean,
that's exactly what I was thinking. Is he's never matched someone that's his size, like his height, especially taller.
That's
and a kickboxer.
And it's not like he's who's that crazy son of a bitch that beat Ignacio?
Makdessi?
No, Klein.
Oh.
Yeah, Ludovic Klein. It's not like he's just Klein going to be spamming kicks in your face, going, just there. And then Makdessi, who's a hard guy to deal with his spinning heel kicks. Manuel is very standard, normal boxing Muay Thai, but he stands kind of square with his stance, which when Ignacio starts firing stuff right down the middle, that's going to be hard to deal with. Ignacio has a good chin. He's really tall. He's hard to take down. I don't know that that'll matter, but Manuel actually has good jiu-jitsu and does a lot of the right stuff.
It does look good, yeah.
But I don't know that he has the wrestling to get the fight there, and I don't know that it's going to really end up on the ground unless somebody gets hurt or, catches a kick or something like that. So then now Ignacio is a lot slower than Manuel. He's kind of a bit of a deer, but man, he's just massive. He's huge, spinning kicks, long distance punches. We've seen people try to get inside on him and it's really hard. And Manuel is beating smaller Chris Duncan
and Duncan hurt him bad.
Yes, he really did. And that's the thing is I think Ignacio is going to put Manuel away.
Well, it's really hard. Like he's never been out of the first round, at least not in years and years and years and years and years. Like every UFC fight has ended in the first round. And so for me, like, unless this guy has to define aura. He just has to be 100% aura, because if he's not, you take the guy that's done 15 minutes before, that's gone 3 rounds before, that's a well-versed kickboxer from a good gym, good takedown defense, just better gas tank. So I'm with you. I like Ignacio Bahamondes here.
Yeah, I mean, I think Manuel Torres is great, but I don't see anything there that is going to get him by Ignacio.
And I would say okay, wait for the first round to live bet, when you think that Torres is going to fade. And I guess we have no evidence to say that he's going to fade, but his style, how he fights, he has gassed out in the past before.
Well, the thing with me is that Duncan hurt him. Duncan hurt him with a jab not a hard punch right down the middle. Yeah, he's just very hittable. And Mota, Mota is very good. He just doesn't fight well. And he waits and waits and waits. And then he throws those big punches and he's very predictable. And Manuel just threw that elbow right. No, with Mota, he's not going to go until you go. You throw something at him and then he's going to counter you. And so he threw and he was expecting it, went right. I mean, beautifully timed.
Killed him.
Yeah. I mean, it was great.
Bahamondes also has a lot of lateral movement too. He draws you into him. I like
really
him
hard
in this spot. Yeah.
So, yep. Thanks for listening as always. And this episode is brought to you by MyBookie.ag. They are killing it for the NFL season this year. MyBookie is giving away hundreds of thousands of dollars in their Super Survivor Series contests every week. Check them out, mybookie.com. Use promo code Santino. And you've used MyBookie years and years. Lots of bets.
Lots of bets. And actually this Thursday, no sweat bet. If you win big. If you lose, don't worry about it. MyBookie's got you covered.
You guys go to mybookie.com, use promo code Santino, get your NFL bets on, get your MMA bets on, get all of your bets on. Go to mybookie.com.
All right, cool. Next, we have Irene Aldana, minus 111 versus Norma Dumont, minus 109.
There was only 10 fights on the card.
I'm going to say something now. I don't want you guys to judge me.
You're going to talk about her feet?
I don't want you guys to judge me in at home when you guys are
Alexa
listening.
is the main event.
I don't want you guys judging me. I'm actually looking forward to this fight.
Oh, what?
Wait, for bad reasons or good reasons?
No, I mean, all right, so I'm probably getting my hopes up.
Norma's a really boring fighter.
So is Carol Rosa, but
Rosa's fun.
no, Rosa threw low kicks, and Irene Aldana was like, "Fuck you, I'm punching you," and then, dude, that was just a balls out, like good
I see where
fight.
you're going. Okay, yes.
Like I am hoping. It's like the rematch. You have these fights, these amazing fights, and then the rematch is never as good. In my head, this is Irena's last fight. Norma Dumont is actually really good.
She is good.
She is good. She looks the part. She has great head movement and great rhythm. Her feints are good. She's narrow. She does throw low kicks. And when she fires, she swings. She swings. And Irene Aldana, I mean, she holds her hands. I mean, they're not even at her chin. They're at her hairline. Those things are so high. She's like hugging her head, hugging it, and just stabbing jabs down the middle. Ones and twos down the middle. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. She doesn't know what a hook is, and I love that about her.
She does, because she flatlined Vieira with that.
Yeah. But
I know what you're saying. In the whole course.
Yes, and she'll rip the body. She has no idea what a kick is. I think she's thrown one kick in her life, and I think that was an accident.
I wonder if it's because she's afraid of getting taken down by kicks.
I don't know, but no, it's actually, I was joking about that, but she didn't check the kicks with Rosa. Yeah. She got kicked a million times, and honestly, it wasn't affecting her. A little bit. I mean, she moved a little, and you see her step back, and you could tell. And she was like, "Fuck your kicks. Here's my jab. Eat it." And
I thought Rosa was going to take over that fight after hurting her with the kicks, and she said, "No, I'm good."
No, and was just in her face. I love it. This fight could go a lot of different ways. It could be the really scrappy barn burner, like we're thinking. Irene could just stuff a takedown and just shove punches down Norma's face. Or Norma could wrestle and win. And now Norma's wrestling's not amazing, but she does something really good. And she did it with Germaine Durandame.
She looked good in that fight, the wrestling.
Yeah, but two of the Germaine whatever her name is. Yeah. She actually threw a kick in the first round, and Norma caught it and put her on her back. And then in the second round, she threw a kick. Norma caught it, put her on her back. And then in the third round, Norma went out there and offensively shot and wrestled, but a beautiful chain. Germaine stopped the shot. She chained it. Boom, got her down.
Didn't she hit like an inside trip on that?
It might have been an inside trip on the finish. But
it was gorgeous.
Beautiful chain wrestling to get her down. And then, but Germaine is like, when she's on her back, she's on her back. Thing with Irene is, it's weird. She doesn't have amazing takedown defense or stand-ups. She is tall, and so that alone, tall women in MMA are hard to take down. It's just a thing. It's a lot of shorter women aren't great at figuring that out. But the thing Irene does, she doesn't like turn and do all of the proper stuff to get back up. She just attacks jiu-jitsu and wiggles and creates space and starts punching, and she flails. And then people just stand up in her guard, and then she finds her way back up. She did that with who's the champ, former champ? She fought Nunez. She did that with her multiple times, where Nunez would get her down, and then Nunez was like, "I'm not going to deal with this. It's just too much." So she gets back up. I can't imagine that. But Norma on top,
she's heavy
childbearing hips.
Yeah.
And so I mean, yeah, Nunez is going to be that as well, but. I like Irene here.
Maybe not childbearing.
Maybe not. Maybe child adopting, but potato. But yeah, I want to like Irene here if it stays standing. But man, if Norma could wrestle her and really, I think Norma's stylistically, she needs the fight of her life to win, because she's got to be able to put her on the fence, put her on the cage, and get her down. And we saw with Macy Chiasson, that was hard for her dealing with that long, tall, weird body.
And you know what? I don't want to do MMA math here, but Aldana KO'd her flat.
Yeah, she did.
No, that was the craziest knockout of all time.
From her back, the up kick to the liver.
Yeah.
But Aldana will find a way to win, and she's got a chin. She's got some whiskers on that beard. So I like Aldana here in what I think is actually going to be a really good fight.
Yeah, I'm gonna be on Aldana in this fight, and here's why. I do think Norma's good. If Norma goes out and blows her out of the water, I wouldn't be surprised at all because you know, she is heavy on top. She is really skilled, but her style is bad. And especially it's bad in the sphere that's dedicating to Mexicans. And like you said, everything is going to go crazy for the Mexicans. Norma fought the ghost of Jermaine Durandamy in the last fight. And it was a close fight. Like it was even odds going into the last round, right? It was split 1-1, all that stuff. Now you have Irene, who's, I know she's older, but at least she's been active. She's been fighting people. She had a great fight with Carol Rosa that, she's really good too. I mean, she really is good. I think she's really good. Just active, spry, putting punches in the face. Every single time she lands, the crowd's going to go crazy. And by the crowd, I mean me. I'm go nuts. I'm going to influence these judges.
I don't know if we mention it, but this is a themed card. We talk about it. You go to Australia, there's 12 Australians on the card, 10 or 11 of them are winning. You know, you go to Canada, last Canada card was weird, but you know, you go to France, the French people are winning. This is a themed card. This is a Mexico City card happening in Vegas.
I think it's going to be a really close fight, but kind of like we talk about all the time. Not that Norma's outclassed on the feet either. She is good. Mm-hmm. I just think it's a little bit more pace, volume, and just like bigger moments versus her kind of like pickpocket sniper shots. I think it looks better for the crowd. So I think just on hustle that Irene is going to win this fight
by decision.
Probably. Yeah. I think Norma's tough.
I think so. I think you're right.
All right, cool. Next we have Ronaldo Rodriguez at -135 versus Ode Osbourne at +115. Give me your thoughts.
Yeah. So I was looking at the odds on this fight, and I didn't get to watch his first fight until today, actually. Rodriguez. What do they call him? What's Lazy Boy?
Yeah, Lazy Boy.
You know what? His style is really interesting. He's like C-Rod. He's so calm and just kind of lets everything come to him. And what was like crazy is Bondar went crazy, taking him down. Honestly, did whatever he wanted. He was cracking him with big overhands, taking him down, doing whatever he wanted to him. And Lazy Boy just kind of is like, all right, I'm good. And his grappling is just so calm. And then eventually just finds a way to the top and ends up winning that way. It's weird. I think Bondar kind of gave him the fight that he needed. And Ode, these are like, man, he's such an underachiever, Ode. He's such an underachiever. He's got so much skills. He's so fast. He's so athletic and just constantly just like fumbles constantly. But man, I think he's so fast in this matchup. If he sticks and he moves and he sticks and he moves, I'm not really sure what Rodriguez's game is. I did see a clip of him boxing the other day. And when he's on the mitts, he looks incredible. Like he's moving like a real boxer. He looks really, really
mitts,
good.
no hit back.
Yeah. That's the truth. But in fights, he does stay calm. Like he's comfortable getting hit. I just don't know what his game is. It's going to be, catch, big overhand and try to crack Ode and hurt Ode, which is tough at 125 to hurt anybody. Ode is fast. He does fight with good range. His kryptonite's always grappling. Is Lazy Boy a good enough grappler to get him down and sustain it? I mean, Ode is explosive. We were actually talking about him today on Jafel Filo. I know he lost really quick, but he had a really quick sprawl, and it took like an expert counter to get him down. So I don't know. I think I like Ode in this spot.
I'm glad you said that because I think Ode is going to beat his ass. Like I think I can't believe he's an underdog. Like this is comical to me. Ode doesn't gas. He's not
he does gas.
He slows down.
He gassed in the CJ fight in the third round.
Well, dude, that guy just is non-stop pressure like crazy. And Ronaldo is pressure. He's similar, but
he doesn't throw as much.
Yeah, he's just not the volume. And then he doesn't have the risk of the takedowns Ode, I think he doesn't have good takedowns. Bondar took him down easily at will. So then he's got to hope to guillotine Ode on his way down. So I think if Ode wants to like clinch and put him on his back and do stuff to breathe a little bit. But the other thing is, again, he's not as high volume as CJ. I think he's going to sharpshoot him from the outside. And I don't know that he has a style that's going to death gas Ode out.
Just being calm,
and Ode's lateral movement is great. He's long, he's rangy.
Ode feels like Matt Schnell to me, like where I'm always like, oh, dude, this is the fight he wins.
He is, but against grapplers, you already said it. I mean, the Filo and then the guy he fought that freaking gorgeous wrestler. Who's Abu, whatever. He has such amazing wrestling. Took him down and dragged him out. I forget, Kazakhstanian kid. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, is he gonna? The way for him to win is to wear Ode out and TKO him in the third.
That's honestly, to me, his path.
Yeah, and then I don't see that, man. I wouldn't be surprised if Ode stopped him. So I like Ode here, especially as a dog. Like,
you seen the mouth on that kid?
No.
Oh, it's crazy. When you get a chance, Google his mouth. Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Strange.
He's got crazy teeth.
Okay. But man, I think Ode's gonna sharpshoot him out, beat him up. He can dictate the wrestling. Yeah, give me Ode.
Bomba clot. Okay, next one.
Next, we have Daniel Zellhuber minus 250 versus Esteban Ribovics at plus 210.
So before we get into that fight, for the record, Lennox, my son, is not allowed to say bumbleclot because it just bothers me, these stupid words that are now here.
Oh,
Skippity Riz, toilet, Ohio,
Skippity Riz?
Do you not know about all the Skippity Riz, bumbleclots, Ohio?
No, what's Ohio?
Oh, dude, I don't even know what the fuck any of this is. But there's so much stupidity. Like at the wrestling club, like, AJ coaches them, and he's like, if you say any of the, like, there's a list of these stupid words. He's like, and if you say them, you have to do 20 push-ups because they're so dumb. And that is one of them.
You know what? That's why the stupid kids get so jacked. That's why they're the better wrestlers.
Man, I mean, like, like Lennox will be like, bumbleclot. And he's like, sorry, Dad. I'm sorry, Dad. I'm like, I will beat you, boy.
That is hilarious. He's like culturally
Speaking of beating boys, I tried to abuse my child the other day, my big one. He was, I don't know, he did something that was dumb. And so we were in the house. I tried to pick him up. I was going to throw him in the pool. And like, I had him in the air with both of his hands wrapped up, like one hand wrapped wrist here. Like, I put him in a straitjacket, had him up. Kindle opened the door for me, and I was going, and I couldn't get that little son of a bitch out of the house. He fought me so hard.
Wow.
And jumped away. He's in the air, like jumping and leaping and going. And I just started laughing.
He tossed you in the pool.
Yeah, he about threw me in the pool. So anyway, one of these days he's going to beat me up. But anyway, let's talk Zellhuber, Esteban.
I love a good child abuse story. All right.
I tried, man. Both these guys are good.
This is going to be my favorite fight of the whole card.
This is going to be a good fight.
Yeah, I think it's
so.
Incredible.
Zellhuber already fought Make-A-Wish version of Esteban in his last fight.
Truly the Make-A-Wish version.
Really, yeah, right? Yeah. I mean, like Francisco Prado. I mean, it's literally it's undersized,
not as much, maybe enough power, but
he's a not as good version of Ribovics and not as good of cardio. And all right, so the thing with Esteban, and I have the weird thing. Look at people's head in relation to their body. Esteban is 5'10", and he like 155 pounds. He fights at. He has the head of Kelvin Gastelum, who's like who walks around at like 258. Like his head is massive. It looks like it's too big for him. But Zellhuber is tall. He does a lot of stuff well. He's really good. The thing with Zellhuber, one, is he actually gets hit a lot at first, because if you watch his fights at first, and I get it with Prado, maybe you don't want to start throwing jabs and get those punches down the middle, but he's getting the punches down the middle anyway. And what he's doing is he moves laterally a lot and he's kicking. Moves laterally, kicks. Moves laterally, kicks. But then that gets him pushed up against the fence, where Prado especially was swinging a lot even in his Contender Series fight against, who's the Brazilian that he fought in Contender? Great left hook.
Oh, Almeida,
yes. He just got hit a lot when he gets backed up and pushed back. And then when he gets pushed back, he starts check hooking and swinging, and he actually ends up getting hit more. And he lost that first round of Prado by pressure and just piss and vinegar. I don't know if it was adjustment by Nixick or what, but he started using his jab in round 2, and that's what busted Prado open and really started. That was the beginning and the end, was the jab. Right down the middle, jab, firing it, going. But he never starts that way. He always adjusts into a jab, which is just weird to me watching it, because he is tall and he does have that jab, but he fights so like short by throwing hooks and kicks. And then we have Esteban on the other side, who has really good jiu-jitsu. He's hard to finish. And he has really good cardio. All smart things say that Zellhuber wins this in this sphere, but I actually like Prado. I like Esteban, and I could be biased, and I might only be saying this because our dear producer here fought him. But I think that if Zellhuber was going to put a wrestling game plan together and put Ribovics down, that's of course Ribovics' Achilles heel, but Ribovics doesn't get tired, and he would just punch for punch. That dude can take a shot. Yes, he hits hard and he can take a shot, and he has really good cardio, and I can see him just marching through the fire. That actually, the only thing I don't like about Ribovics is I was watching him in his McKinney fight, and I was actually watching him with Camuela's fight. It's just, he was actually a lot more calm going in. I'm like, no, go through the fire. I want him to go in there marching and swinging and going. And I think that he can find Zellhuber's chin and chin him. I like Ribovics for the upset here. I don't know if it'll happen, and maybe it's wishful thinking. I mean, the smart brain says, Zellhuber is so tall that he keeps him on the outside and he lands more. But man, the other thing is Prado trains at Goat Shed with not Kill Cliff. And I think Ribovics is going to have a lot of really good training partners.
And he's a Henry Hoof guy.
Yeah.
He's a Henry Hoof guy.
So give me Ribovics for the upset here.
I'm so with you. That's why I cannot wait to see this fight. I love Zellhuber. I think he is so incredibly good, so talented. But every single fight, when you bet on him, your asshole is clenched because you're like, man, he's gonna eat a big bomb. Didn't even Christos Giagos rock the shit out of him?
Yep.
And that's Christos Giagos, who actually is Esteban's teammate.
Yep.
Giagos
just quits. Like if he had a little bit of fight in him, he could actually do something.
Yeah, I mean, Esteban is just the most calm fighter I've ever seen. Huge head. He cracks super hard. I can't believe that this line has gotten to where it is because I really figure this is a pick 'em. You have the volume and the movement of Zellhuber versus the big cracking shots of Ribovics. I like Esteban here. I think eventually you give him 15 minutes to find him. He will, and he's going to start to pick up the pace. And he punches in combination, too. He's a great puncher.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I like it. Yeah, we're biased on this podcast, but I like him.
I agree. I got Esteban. All right, next we have Brian Ortega plus 153 versus Diego Lopes at minus 178.
If this fight had happened when it originally happened, I think me and everyone else on the planet would have, whatever our picks and this and that, yada, yada. After watching Lopes death gas against Ige, who, again, what do we have? Your shoe right there has just taken Ige's back.
Oh, come on.
Oh, dude.
He's a black belt.
I say this every Ige fight, every Ige everything. His wrestling is overrated, and we've all just taken his back.
Oh, come on.
Tell me that if Lopes didn't hang on his back in round 2 and 3, he wasn't getting beat up and knocked out. Man.
I think you're falling into the trap right now. What are the odds on this one? I'm sorry.
We have Ortega at plus 153 and Lopes at minus 178.
Okay.
Lopes is so hot and heavy round 1. And man, he just fades out. And man, if he had fought a 5-round fight against Danny Ige was walking home with a win. And now all of a sudden you've got to think, all right, does he put Ortega away? And is he going to submit Ortega? Probably not. And I don't think he's going to be able to just hang out on Ortega's back if he gets tired and find it that way. I like Diego. I think he's very good for a lot of things. I don't think he's going to break through that upper echelon of the division. I don't think he has, and I don't know if it's cardio or if it's load management. If he just goes so hard and then he just gets so amped up and then he fades, but he slows down significantly. So we know that. And then his wrestling is not amazing. So now it's like, is he going to put together like blast doubles and out wrestle the top of the top of the top guys? And he's fast and he has a beautiful short little right uppercut that is his best punch. And, you know, but
is Ortega known for his sprawl?
No, but Ortega is just like a wily grappler. Like that dude is just in there and going and sprawling and doing.
Is this at 155?
I don't know. Is this at 45 or 55? Do we know?
45.
Okay, it is at 45. Man, I would have liked it better at 55 for Ortega. But actually, you know, maybe Lopes having to cut weight.
Yeah, but
you know, be harder.
Ortega was the one that couldn't make the weight last time.
Yeah, but that was on short notice.
Yeah, and then he'd said he's going to move up to 55.
Yeah, eventually. But man, I don't know that Diego. I think Diego is very skilled at what he does. He's kind of a coach at that whole gym of all of those guys. I don't know. I mean, yeah, he has Grasso's, you know, uncle or father or uncle as a boxing coach. But I don't know that he really has a coach putting game plan and everything behind it. So I think it's all he's kind of almost old school where it's like he's Cowboy Cerrone to me.
Okay.
He is gonna swing at you striking. You take him down. He is gonna throw jiu-jitsu like crazy. And honestly, it's the best comparison I can give.
That's a really good one, actually.
I think he's gonna fight all the tough guys. I don't know if he'll fight for a title. I think he's gonna lose to those top guys and beat the guys below him. So I don't think he beats Ortega.
I think he wins here, actually. I think a lot of that last fight is baked into this number. And also, I think a lot of that fight week stuff had to do with his performance, too. Just the up and the down. Am I fighting? Am I not fighting? Am I fighting? Am I not fighting? What weight class are we going? This and this and this and this. I do give him the benefit of the doubt on that. I know what it's like to go through a fight week and you have the emotion spiking of, I am fighting. I'm not fighting. I'm up.
We saw that with Jack Della Maddalena with who's that?
Hafez.
Yes, Hafez, where you're supposed to fight like so many weeks in a row and
cutting weight, and then we're not cutting weight. We're eating. We're not eating. Like the second you tell me, like, you know, you tell me a fight's not happening, I'm like, okay, cool, I'm gonna eat what I want, and it's just such a.
And I specifically, as a coach, try not to tell you anything until I know more.
100%
because of that. You're right. You're right.
So I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. I also question Ortega's dedication. He's always kind of been a in and out of the gym kind of guy, kind of like, just kind of get to it kind of guy. He fights his ass off. He is a tough son of a bitch. But honestly, I think that Diego's just going to take him down and they're going to play jiu-jitsu. I think, you know, we're going to go the younger guy that hits super hard on the feet. You know, that is a concern, but Ige's game plan is also a lot different, right? He wants to sprawl and brawl. He wants to get you off and he wants to strike and he hits so hard. Ortega's not a big puncher. He's a volume guy, kind of work you into the grappling. So I can't help but think that, you know, a lot of that last performance is baked into the number, but what's not really being accounted for is Ortega, you know, I know short notice, but not making the weight and pulling out because of the sickness and this and that. His training situation, I already know, is pretty fractured. You know, it's just, there's a lot going on for Ortega. I think that Diego could come out and look like value here.
Okay.
All right. In the co-main, we have Alexa Grasso. Let me pull up the odds real quick. Alexa Grasso minus 130 versus Valentina Shevchenko at plus 110.
What do you think about the draw in the last fight?
Okay, I thought it was a bad decision.
Okay.
Actually, no. I had it as a draw. That last round is a 10-8. It's borderline. I don't know. It's hard to say. I thought Valentina won the first fight.
Okay.
I'm sorry. That fight.
Yeah.
Yes.
So do I. I thought Valentina won it.
And she was winning. Almost the whole first fight.
Yes. And then at this point, you've just got to go like, how old is Valentina at this point? She's 36. We've just seen it too many times. When these long-standing champs lose their title.
Usman.
Yes, and then they never get it back.
But she's been winning every fight is the issue.
I know.
Like with the Usman, it was different, right? Usman, we knew he had a lot of injuries his entire career. he was dominating Leon so badly that first fight, and then it was a miracle that it happened. And then comes out in the second iteration, his knees are busted, his confidence is shaken. It's in London. I guess the same thing. It's going to be for, that thing. But Valentina, I thought, won the second fight. She was winning, 99% of the first fight. She has all the grappling upside here. Striking is very close. I do think Alexa's got really nice, crisp boxing and more volume, but like, it's hard. Alexa just falls over too, and that's the issue that I have. But this play, it feels like a Dricus du Plessis versus Israel to me. We're like, man, Izzy's been the man for so many years. He's levels above in the striking. He's so good. He's this and that. And then Dricus, who's just the younger, hungrier guy, just comes out and mauls him. And that's what it feels like here. But I'm like, man, Valentina has all the upside to me.
So she does, and
if she didn't get rocked in that second round, she wins that fight clearly.
Yes.
And how often in a women's fight at 125 with pillow fist Grasso can you expect her to knock Valentina down again?
Yeah.
Valentina does fight very measured, very safe. She doesn't rush in. It's not like, Usman who has to get off his game on this one certain thing. Like, she can do a lot of different things.
Now, the thing with Valentina, though, is one, is she going to offensively wrestle?
Yes.
Which, so the answer is yes. But I feel like the jiu-jitsu of Alexa, I feel like Alexa is just getting better and better.
Yes.
I feel like where she's at, I actually think her with Diego Lopes and that whole crew up in Vegas, I think she has better training partners. Valentina doesn't have any training partners. Who does she train with?
She came to fight ready. Yeah.
And trained with like random people that were like drilling partners. And it's like
the worst fighters.
It's just the worst. I just don't know that she's getting better and better and being pushed. And that's the thing with these title fights, where it's like, look, man, Izzy was the better fighter, but is he being pushed? Does he have that drive? When push comes to shove and it's the fourth round, are you used to just grinding it out and going on a technical level? Like, if they were to train in the gym, I would say Valentina probably wins every single round. But I'll also say that Izzy probably wins every single round against Dricus. You'd say that Leon beats Bilal in the room every single time. And I don't know, you just, like, everything on a technical level and on everything that we've seen says Valentina wins, but she's getting older. She did get rocked. She's not the woman she was before. She's over spinning stuff. Alexa watched so much tape and was timing the spin, jumping to the back. It seems to me that the changing of the garb is there, and I don't know that Valentina is going to wear it again. You just don't see it. It just doesn't happen. Not to say it can't. Again, on a technical level, I'm sure on both of these fights, before, when we broke them down, I was like, Valentina. I'm sure if you go back and look,
I was the opposite.
You were. I remember that.
I was actually the only one in the first iteration to pick Alexa.
Yes.
Then the second fight, everyone was on Alexa. I picked Alexa. Came a draw.
Yep.
Now here we are.
Yeah, with the age, with everything going, I think Valentina is going to look really, really, really good and lose.
I'm going to stick with Valentina here. I had to think about it a lot. Do I like the youth and the vigor of Alexa? And then I just think about women's MMA as a whole, and I'm like, man, grappling is just such a massive part to that. And yes, she's like does a lot of stuff off her back, but Valentina, she top times everybody. The way she was tossing around Jessica Andrade, the way she does that to a lot of people. There's a lot of things I don't like about her game. The low volume, the standing and staring. When she's on her back, she's a fish. But with such a big grappling upside and such a safe style on the feet, I still have to stick with Valentina. I think it's going to be a great fight. Hopefully the third iteration is a great fight. But then this is going to be a Moreno situation where they're going to fight 4 times in Figgy.
Yeah. I don't want to see it 4.
This time in Russia.
Yeah.
In Kyrgyzstan.
All right. Main event. Sean O'Malley minus 130 versus Merab Dvalishvili.
You did not study your name sayings this time.
Jauregui, dude. I got Jauregui. You're wrong about that one.
You guys, before we get in the main event, check out the Discord, check out the Patreon. Link in the bio. Now, do you want to talk about the main event?
No, I don't want to talk about the main event.
Why don't you want to talk about the main event?
Well, the reason I don't want to talk about the main event is because I frequent one place for one half of the main event.
Okay, and did you do any rounds with anyone this camp with one half of the main event?
I did do a round with one half of the main event for this fight card.
Okay. I happen to have brought fighters this
many
whole
men.
camp.
You're like 50 Cent.
Yeah, many men. Yeah, all camp. We were actually helping Sean out with this camp, bringing fighters over there again and again with both Sean and then Tommy McMillan as well. So we were bringing guys over for both of them, both their camps, pretty much every sparring session for probably 6 weeks now. So because of that, of course, we don't want to talk about the fight at all. I mean, that would just be a real dick thing to do. Help somebody train for a fight the whole time. We're like, oh, they're going to win or lose, or this is the game plan, or this is what we're doing. So it's not fair for us to talk like, in private, but it's also not fair to you guys to get a shitty biased version. And we're either going to lie to you or give everything away for them. And so like, that's just not the cool thing to do. So
I got a question from this guy. He's followed me for some years. His name is Aiden. Let me see his Twitter. Oh shit. His Twitter handle is O'Malley's Bong. All right. Well, clearly we know where he's going.
Yep.
But he asked me, he's like, hey, when you got the round in with Sean, did you feel his specialness? That's a weird question, but also I get it. And the answer was like, no. And the only reason I say that is because he's just a normal guy. Like he was a really good sparring partner, training partner. He's such a normal, nice guy. And what you see on TV is like it's the extreme version of him and the way that he's talking and trying to pump it. He's just a really cool guy just in general. He's a good training partner. I know he works with all the guys at Red Hawk where he trains. Like he's a cool guy. So did I feel it? No, because he wasn't putting on a performance. He was trying to get legit work, just see some things, move around, so I guess that's the answer.
I actually want to take this time. I don't think I've said this publicly.
Are you coming out of the closet? Is the pinks about?
That's out a long time ago. No, like Sean is actually one of the nicest humans I've ever met in my life.
Oh, this was great. I can't wait.
And he did one of the coolest things I have ever been a part of or seen or anything. So before his last fight with Aljamain Sterling, the week of the fight, it was Monday of fight week, I get a phone call from, Wisconsin, Indiana, something like that. I don't remember. Answer the phone, and it was somebody there who is from Make-A-Wish Foundation. And they said, hey, we're trying to get in touch with Sean O'Malley. One of the guys over here said that you might and it was actually Wes Sims, who I, kind of know from back in the day, was like, hey, said that you might have contact information for him, or you might be able to get me in contact with him. And I said, look, I don't train Sean, but I know his coach and I can, put a word in. What's going on? And they said, we have a kid here who's terminal. He's got about 2 weeks to live. And his dream before he passes away is to talk with Sean O'Malley, FaceTime Sean O'Malley and just say hello. And I was like, yeah, let me email, them and touch base with them and I'll let you know. So I messaged him, Welch, his coach. And I just give him a rundown. I say, hey, Make-A-Wish Foundation. I said, I know it's Sean's fight week. Like, I don't want to mess with anything. Here's the situation. And, here's the contact information for the person if Sean wants to do it, blah, blah, blah. So this is Monday. On Tuesday or on Wednesday, I get a call from the people from Make-A-Wish Foundation. And they were just like, hey, I just want to say thank you. And I was like, what? And they said, Sean called the kid in the hospital, FaceTimed him for 20, 30 minutes, just talked with him, chatted with him, was telling him everything's going to be all right. He's going to, he'll let him hold on to his belt after he gets it. And, just was nothing but just an awesome human being. Had no reason to do this. Did it on fight week, calling a kid, FaceTiming a kid, Make-A-Wish Foundation does all of this. The week of his title fight, where he's not the champion at this point, this is the biggest week of his life, takes time out of his day to do this for a kid who's terminal. And then actually maybe a few weeks after that, I got a call and they let me know that the kid had passed away. And we're just saying, thank you again for doing everything.
I was going to ask not to be a dick, but I was like, hey,
yeah,
did he,
No, he passed away and, they let me know. And it was just really a sad moment, but it was really nice that, Sean got to, Sean did such a wonderful thing for a kid who was about to die.
That's cool. And never mentioned it either.
Never
brought it
mentioned it.
up. You never like it wasn't something that he felt like he needed to go share with everybody.
No, they didn't even tell me that he did it. He just called the kid and just did it. And
now, you know what? Share with us a story about Merab. What has he done? Well, there's your answer, folks.
Yeah. So who do you want to win now?
A charitable, nice person or a Georgian? Think about that.
Nice.
MyBookie.ag, patreon.com/MMA breakdowns and bets, onlyfans.com/BigDickBrandon, and
onlyfans.com/GabesFeet.
/Gabe's Feet. Find us on Feet Finder. Thanks, guys.